In this module, we'll explore forms. Forms allow us to process user information, such as users logging in or contacting us. Before we dive into forms, let's work on our menu bar links to get them working properly. First, we'll add another section to give our page some more scrollable space. We'll add an A tag to each of our links, nested inside of the li element. Now let's style our links. To remove the underline, we can use a text decoration property name with a value of none. We'll also make our links black on display. Now we'll apply a new selector, the hover selector, which allows us to change the color of our links when we hover over them. We'll make the hover color the same as our section H1. Now let's add the links. The first link we'll make is to our homepage. This simply links back to the same example.html page. Next, we'll link contact to a new page, contact.html, which we'll create shortly. Next, we'll program the about to take us to section 1 below. To do this, we have to identify the section that we want to go to by using an ID. Let's give the section 1 div an ID of section 1 as well. We'll return to our link and write #section_1 to scroll us down to that section. When we run our page, our links are working, but we have an issue with about. Our fixed menu bar is taking up 80 pixels of space and the section H1 is behind it. This is where a programmer needs to apply their skills and knowledge to solve a problem. A programmer might also reach out to other programmers to get help or advice. For this problem, I'll use a hidden div and position it at the bottom of the landing div. I'll give the div a class of scroll_fix. I'll make scrollFix 100% wide, give it a height of 80 pixels, a background color of white, and position it absolutely 0 pixels from the bottom. This will stick it to the bottom of the div. Now when we run our page, we'll see the div is sticking nicely to the bottom. Now let's remove the white background and make it transparent. The div is still there, but hidden. Now we'll give it an ID of section 1 and remove the ID from the other div. Now, even though the link is going down to the scrollFix div, it looks perfect on the user's end. Now let's create our contact page. We'll give it a name of contact.html to match our link. Let's bring in our HTML template and get started on forms. A form element begins with the form tag. Inside of the form, we can have input boxes, buttons, checkboxes, and all kinds of other widgets. In this form, we'll just create 2 inputs, a text area, and a button to send. First, we'll create an input with a type of email. We'll make the max length of this form 50 characters. We'll also give it a placeholder. A placeholder allows us to guide the user to what should be entered in the input box. Finally, we'll make this a required field. With email, max length, and required, we're validating our information. There are 5 types of validation. To learn more about these 5 types, check the handout in the module titled Validation. We'll copy and paste the email input and change it slightly for name. Now we'll create a text area where a user can write their comments or inquiry. We'll also need a button of type submit that says send to process our form. We can group similar form elements using the field set tag, but this is not required. We can also give a caption to our form using the legend tag, but again, this is not required. Here is our form. It looks pretty bad, but for the sake of time, let's not style it ourselves. Let's bring in a library to help us. Pure CSS allows us to link to an external CSS file that will make our forms look a lot prettier. There are many libraries like this, with the most popular being Bootstrap. As you further develop your apps in future units, you'll use these libraries more and more. Now let's add the link for Pure CSS's external style sheet to our head. Now all we need to do is copy the classes and paste them into our elements. That should do it, so let's view our form. This looks much better. As we move into later modules and units, we'll use forms a lot. Be sure to explore forms on your own to solidify your understanding of these important elements.